Beautiful people, thank you so much for joining me once again. Today, we are not going to rush. We are going to take things easy, very, very easy, all right? So if you're already here, I want you to do what? Hit the like button, like the video. Once you pop up here, it means you want to support us. You're not a subscriber. Some of you have been watching us for long. You refuse to subscribe. Yes, you refuse. It's not that you are forgetting or anytime you are done watching the video, you forget and you go. No, you refuse. Why? Do that. Subscribe to be part of the family. This is a beautiful family. And don't forget to also put us on notification. We are going to talk about Tanzania. William Ruto answers some critical question on Al Jazeera. A talk with Al Jazeera. He had an interview. And we're going to talk about that interview. Along the line, we are going to touch Sudan. If we touch Sudan, we are going to touch Ghana also. So our conversation today is not going to be just one line. Yeah? Beautiful. What is happening in Tanzania, family? It's more bigger than what we think it is. Currently, as I'm talking to you, 240 people in Tanzania. That is what the news put out. 240 people. Most of these people are activists. These people are charged with treason. That is number one on one side, meaning that they will be sentenced to death. Anyway, let's talk about the interview first. William Ruto went on an interview with Al Jazeera. And William Ruto's revelation tells you that the leaders on the continent of Africa know what is going on the continent of Africa. It's just that they kept quiet. When there's one thing we know, you will agree with me. If I'm a thief and I have a club of thieves, and then you are asking me to expose my brother, I can't do that. Because if I expose my brother, I will also be exposed. So what we do is that we need to cover each other. That is if you are in a club of thieves. If you are in a club of armed robbery, that's the same thing that will happen. If you're in the club of terrorists, the same thing will be happening. They will cover each other. When you are in a political arena, the politicians cover each other. I hope you're connecting it. So he was on interview, listening to the question they asked him. And the host, I love the host. The host was very specific and was pressuring. The host know the answer they want. And they're trying to pull the answer from William Ruto by force. But Ruto was smart. But along the line, the man answered the question. What we need to hear, the man answered it and omitted it. Listen.
Samia Suluhu Hassan, the winner, declared 97% support. That's like North Korea. Is there still democracy in Tanzania?
It's not for me to judge Tanzania. It is.
It seems a bit fishy. 97%, doesn't it? Well, in a democracy, for example, in Kenya, you can never get 96%. So it's not a democracy anymore, then.
That is you saying.
You listen to that. In a democracy, and then he switched that. For example, in Kenya. What is he trying to say? And then he switched. He wanted to say in a democracy, you cannot get 97 or 98%. That is what the woman in Tanzania bagged. 97% of the vote. That is, if you want to still with, the thing in your head so that it won't look too obvious. So William Ruto was trying to say that in a democracy, you can't have that number. But hey, if I drop that right now, it will simply mean that I'm saying that the woman stole the vote. What do I do? Let me switch it and use my own country as an example and use Kenya. How can William Ruto expose this woman? These people are all in one club. Honestly, listen to what he said. When they were pressuring him to answer critical question, he was diverting the whole conversation to, democracy is the best. And listen.
Every country have a way of them doing their stuff. But I think the primary thing is democracy is the best governance system.
But who asks you whether democracy, the question is not whether democracy is the best or not. They are asking you for somebody to claim that I bag 97% of the vote. Is that democracy? And you are telling us that democracy is the best. Who asks you about democracy being best or worse?
It's not tidy always. It is not always easy, because there are all manner of moving parts. But I think we must work together to ensure that we protect democracy.
So look at one of your other neighbors, Uganda.
So I think we should stick to democracy, and we must always give ourselves the opportunity to listen to the alternative view, to look at the alternative without injecting violence into the equation.
It looks like our president is not understanding the question. Nobody asks William Ruto whether democracy is the best system of governance or not. The question is not even in that direction. So why is William Ruto going to this direction? You can clearly see that William Ruto was running away from the question. He is confused. You understand? Let's move forward a little bit. Uganda.
So look at one of your other neighbours, yes. Uganda. Elections coming up very soon. President Museveni has been there for nearly 4 decades, and there were real questions about whether there were free and fair elections last time. His opponent, Bobby Wine, was under effective house arrest. How worried are you about those elections and whether they're going to be free and fair? Because this affects the climate of the whole region, does it not?
I attended President Museveni's swearing in last election, and I think he got 57% of the vote. He didn't get 90. So I think there is room for us to work on democracy is work in progress.
So Museveni, this should tell us something. Even Museveni, in a country where, I don't know, I always say this, that Uganda is the only country on the continent of Africa. We don't know what the governance system they are running. As for Burkina Faso, we know they are in revolution. Museveni, Uganda, we don't know what even the international community doesn't know whether they are practicing democracy or what. Nobody knows what exactly they are practicing there. It is a governance by Museveni, run by Museveni, decision making by Museveni. But Museveni was declared having 50%. Or 57%, right? Not 90%. And this woman in Tanzania claimed that she got 97%. We are no longer stealing the vote with some small dignity. We are stealing it disgracefully with leather skin. And instead of you, William Ruto, to speak as a leader fearlessly and expose the fact that this is, this is fictitious, you are trying to cover this woman up. Meanwhile, your own people, Kenyans in Tanzania, are in distress over there. They are afraid for their life as we are speaking right now. Yes, BBC reported it, that Kenyans' life are in danger. So let me read part of it for you. This is from BBC. The article said, several families in Kenya have expressed concern for the safety of their relatives in Tanzania following reports that some Kenyans have been killed, injured, or detained, while others are nursing injuries allegedly inflicted by Tanzanian security officers. John Ogutu, a Kenyan teacher working in Dar es Salaam, was shot dead by police while on his way to buy food. His older sister told BBC. Now, when you come down a little bit, it says, Kenya's Foreign Affairs Ministry has now asked relatives of Kenyans who may be in distress in Tanzania to share their names, address, and emergency contact. So you see your own people are even in the soup over there, but you went there and are trying to cover this woman up. Why will you even speak about it? Because you even ask your own police to do what? To fire their legs, your citizens, their legs, if they have they want to protest. Yeah. So how do you expose your own fellow partner? Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Do you know that Tanzania, the opposition came into the picture and the opposition proposed that, look, since there's a problem around this election, this is what we are going to do. Let the ICC come in and investigate independently the election result. The woman rejected. The government said no. So the question is this: if you have nothing to fear and you have nothing to hide, then why do you reject independent investigation into the election result? That is the question. The day the inauguration was going on, there was total lockdown in the country, Tanzania. Nobody was outside. Only the military men came together and then they did the thing over there. You lock everybody out. Why? Because you know that if the people come there, the whole world is watching. They are not coming to laugh and rejoice. They are coming to pour down their frustration on you. And the world watch. You understand? So she locked everybody out. This woman, we thought the men are disappointing us a lot. So a woman will make a difference. This woman is making the whole thing worse. I can say this is the worst nightmare of Tanzania people. And do you know what this woman is doing right now? The people who protested in Tanzania, one of the activists, when the protesters were hitting the street, the activist made a post. Her name is Jennifer Nifa. She made a post encouraging the protesters that they should use, tear gas mask so that the pepper and tear gas will not enter their nose and stuff like that. They arrested this lady, added to the people who are on the street, about 240 people together, and they are charged with treason, meaning that they will be jailed. other for life. Because when they say treason, you can be sentenced to death. But most of the time, the death sentence always liquidate to life imprisonment with hard labor. So this is what these people are going to get. 240 people. The woman wants to set an example. When it happened like that, do you know what they are doing? They're trying to silence the entire country. Nobody will have the courage to hit the street and protest. This one is even worse than what Togolese are seeing. And I watched African Union congratulated this woman without talking about how many people died. Do you know what? The government is denying that people died during the protest time. Meanwhile, sources revealed that a lot of people died. African Union congratulated this woman without adding their voice to the people who died. They congratulated Cameroon President Paul Biya without talking about how many people died in Cameroon. So it tells you that the African Union is standing for only the clergy, not the normal civilians. This same African Union, as we're speaking, is not saying anything in regards to what is happening in Sudan. And do you know what? The surprising aspect is that people outside the continent of Africa are talking about what is happening in Sudan. Some are even protesting. All of us on the continent of Africa, we have not even staged protest, any physical action. African Union is quiet. It takes the president of Ghana, who spoke wildly about Sudan, even in the when they went to UN, United Nations. This man spoke about Sudan wildly than all of them. Ibrahim Traore in the house was talking about Sudan. And guess what? For all the countries in Africa, it takes the president of Ghana to donate 2,000 bags of stuff, and they donated a lot of things, even including money. The government donated 2,000 bags of rice to the people of Sudan. And he said, look, these things cannot solve the problem, but at the end of the day, it will relieve the people. And if everybody on the continent and across can do that, we can all contribute towards what is going on in Sudan to bring a lot of relief to the people. Mr. President John Dramani Mahama, thank you so much. We are seeing you. We appreciate this. When we are crying, your colleagues, all of them are quiet. You are able to come out boldly and speak to what is happening in Sudan. You did not only speak, but you acted. Mr. President of Ghana, respect to you. Big respect to this president. African Union is nowhere to be found in this conversation. They did not even settle to sit down and try to solve the problem in Sudan. People are calling them to ban and boycott the UAE. They are quiet about it. The chair of the new chair of the African Union, it's kind of like, I don't know whether he's running, becoming the chair of the African Union means running a biscuit factory or what. I don't know what he's doing. But chairman is not functioning. We are on the continent of Africa, and then the continent, is being torn apart with conflict here and there, and we just go about our daily life. When you check the map, you see all the places that are conflict are loading, and some conflict are already going on. You see, it has not gotten to you, which is the reason why you think you are okay. No, something is eating. This thing is like cancer. It's eating the continent up. And along this conflict, the leaders in some countries are oppressing the people. I think the African Union in particular, we need to restructure it. It's either we dissolve it and build something better that can represent the continent and solve problems on the continent for better for all of us. For the betterment of the continent, African Union is either we reform it or we dissolve it. Because this union is not representing us better. It's not representing us properly. Where they are supposed to speak, they keep quiet. When they are supposed to keep quiet, then those are the places that they will be talking. The day we request them to take action, they don't take action. The day they don't need to take action, those are the days they will be taking action. They are always confused in between situations happening around us. They look like people who don't know what they have to do for the continent of Africa.